Agenda 2063 that we want an integrated, peaceful and prosperous Africa. Because in order to have economic development, in order to have prosperity, we need peace on the continent. Without peace, we cannot do business.
On me demande aussi d'ajouter quelque chose sur la Guinée parce que c'est mon pays d'origine, français. La Guinée est un pays extraordinaire qu'on appelait avant les rivières du Sud parce que c'est un pays qui est bordé de paysages magnifiques. C'est un pays qui arrose toute l'Afrique, c'est pour cela qu'on appelle ce pays le château d'eau de l'Afrique occidentale. C'est un pays béni de Dieu parce que nous avons un pays qui est en même temps une miniature de toute l'Afrique. Je m'excuse parce que peut-être il faudrait que je traduise aussi en français, en anglais, parce que en français, d'accord, ok bien. Donc c'est une Afrique en miniature puisque nous avons la Basse-Guinée qui reprend un peu la physionomie, la géographie et puis la température de quelques pays. Nous avons la Moyenne-Guinée, nous avons la Haute-Guinée. La Moyenne-Guinée, elle est aussi un pays, une région qui présente un peu les caractéristiques de quelques pays africains. Nous avons aussi la Haute-Guinée, qui est aussi un autre cas. Alors, vous voyez que notre pays est doté d'un paysage extraordinaire.
From there, we can build upon. We have examples of South African farmers that are farming 2,000 hectares in Guinea currently. They've been there, they're building their own houses, and they're not planning on leaving at all. Women empowerment, you see women in leadership position, young women, it really is a beautiful thing to see currently in Guinea. And even at our embassy, where you have gender parity, you have an embassy that is led by young folks as well. We have leaders that are allowing space to young, I won't say leaders in front of our leader, but you have young folks that are also allowing the space to come and lead and really talk about how passionate they are about the country. And in strategic places also in Guinea, we have a president who's only 40 years old. 40 years old and doing an amazing job at it. So, yeah, that's from my side. Ambassador?
I would say for the entrepreneurs, for coming from every side in the world, Guinea making the transformation to give the opportunity for everybody to make your company for 2 days, 2 days, is very easy to open the company in Guinea. And also, our fiscality is very, very good, very open for everybody. So, we want to build Guinea Africa. Guinea is Africa. Our country is very open. I would say, when you come in Guinea, you are South African, but when you come in Guinea, you are Guinean automatically. We are very open. We need collaboration. We need the African people come in Guinea because the new paradigm for the constitution for building new Africa is our capability to be together, to give the possibility of the young people to be together, to make the exchange of the university. Why not? We need the kids from South Africa to come in Guinea, to go here in university.
Jeune des African Doers de l'année 2025. Je nomme Mariam Mbo Kourouma. Sur vos applaudissements, s'il vous plaît.
It's not enough. I'm so sorry. It's not enough. Thank you. Merci à tous. Je vais parler en français et Vénitia va se charger de traduire en anglais. Je vous présente Mariam. J'espère que vous voyez bien Mariam. Mariam, tu viendras t'asseoir là.
Comme moi, je le fais avec ce livre, Les Contes de Mo, et comme je le ferai avec le prochain.
The same way I did with the Tales of Mo, this is the title of my book. I wish to write even more books to propel this message.
Et qu'aucun de nous n'ait peur de s'exprimer à voix haute.
And I invite everyone not to be scared to express our thoughts so loudly.
Et enfin, que chacun ait la chance de participer à des événements aussi grandioses que celui-ci à travers ses propres efforts. Je vous remercie.
J'aimerais vous inviter, mesdames et messieurs, à vous lever et surtout,
the G20 presidency in South Africa, we also had the genocide intent. And we went out and said to the respondent, but then how do the following activities that South Africa engage in, how do they affect your willingness to come to South Africa? How do they affect your perceptions about our country? And we noted that most of the activities that we do across, they were actually positive. They said that because we had the G20 presidency, now we have a much more interest to be in Africa, to be in South Africa. And then the peacekeeping efforts, it shows that you care about other people, even that those that are not within your borders. And this actually, we would like to be part of the activities that are happening around South Africa. It's only the yellow part, it's those that said, you know what, this efforts, activities, they don't play a significant role in my decision to or interest in your country. So the Nathan Brent taxonomy model, it has 13 elements.
Donc pour une rapide compréhension, si vous le permettez, pour les francophones, Brent South Africa est une agence du ministère du Tourisme qui, de manière générale, travaille à bâtir l'image de l'Afrique du Sud en tant que pays.
South Africa doesn't play that leadership role that we are expecting, especially when it comes to debating on certain things in the UN, on other African states when they are struggling on some issue. South Africa has always been like quiet. They never play a leadership role. They never support. That's my feeling once again. They never support the other African countries. You guys are like isolated in your own comfort, and you don't really care about the other African. That's my feeling. Once again, don't get me wrong, but my feeling is that I wish that South Africa play a more robust role when it comes to defending the other African country rather than just keep in your comfort zone. That's my feeling here.
I'm Landry Milingo. I'm a peace ambassador, and I'm here to introduce to you a project related to peace that I have initiated.
Le monde d'aujourd'hui est marqué par des conflits, on le voit dans le monde entier, plus particulièrement en RDC, où il y a des femmes qui subissent des sévices sexuels, malheureusement.
Today's world is marked by a lot of conflict. We are seeing it around, particularly in a country like the DRC, when, amongst other things, women are victims of very difficult situations.
L'histoire nous apprend qu'un symbole peut réveiller les consciences. Et l'Afrique du Sud en est témoin. De plusieurs symboles ont donné naissance à des résolutions.
And history teaches us that one symbol can wake up conscience. And South Africa is a very good example in that regard, where we went through here in South Africa a lot of challenges, and where the consciousness movement helped to solve some of those.
Board, it has 16 business class with 124 economy class seats at the back. We fly directly from Johannesburg into Libreville, Gabon, And then we also have connections from Libreville onto various other areas. We actually operate to 17 different destinations from Libreville. So no more going on the milk run from Johannesburg to this country, to this country, and then you get to Libreville. No, you can go directly from Johannesburg. It's a 4.5-hour flight, so it is very quick and easy. We're hoping that we can make the West Africa area, Libreville, a hub eventually, and we'll be able to open up those areas. So just to give you an idea, we also fly from Libreville into Nigeria, to Cameroon, to Port Santa May, Principe, just to give you an example of the different areas that we fly into. So we would love you to please support us if you're flying into that area. We operate out of Bedford View. We have an office in Bedford View where we can do bookings. Otherwise, you can do your bookings through any travel agent in the country. We have them all registered to fly to book Flycabon. It's certainly going to open up that whole area for travel. And as we all know, travel is the gateway to a lot of countries. Air travel, for that matter, it really makes it easier. And also the nice thing about opening up these routes and that is also it helps with employment. It helps with making sure we grow areas like tourism. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a very successful story, and hopefully next year I'll stand in the same position and give you a very uplifting story. Just so that you know that we only started on the 10th of August as well. So. It's a very new project. Thank you.
Tanzania got hacked as well. Their website was defaced. What that means is that the attackers got into the interface and they took the entire website to mimic the government website. It's not just Tanzania. We have countries like Kenya. We have countries like South Africa, and even Gabon. So my next slide, I want to explain exactly how these people get into your systems.
Ok, ici j'ai pris l'article des pays qui sont en attaque. Première, c'est Kenya. Kenya a été attaqué hier. Ils ont pris les informations des sites du Kenya. Ils ont mimiqué ça, fait une petite copie pour faire viser que non, votre système ils sont avec les vulnérabilités.
Visibility is very important. And Tropics have brought most of us from far and near. And I would like that by the time everyone is sharing a photo on Facebook, anywhere else, there should be a photo that says Tropics, I was here, I was there, I witnessed it. At least there was no backdrop. And so I decided maybe from now henceforth, maybe tomorrow, at least this part, then the camera guy or your photographer can then capture you so that we show that we're here. We show that the network has been happening. You can share our stories and it makes it easier for someone rather than someone asking, where were you?
Good afternoon. Your Excellencies, distinguished leaders, esteemed guests, partners, friends, all protocol observed. Standing here today, invited by Tropics Summit, carries a special meaning for me. This is more than a participation in a high-level event. It is the recognition that well-being, leadership, and human development are becoming strategic priorities across Africa. And it is an honor to bring the voice of Cabo Verde to this continental conversation. When I created Workplace Wellbeing Cabo Verde, it was not born from theory or convenience. It came from lived experience, from seeing firsthand how toxic environments, outdated leadership models, and emotional exhaustion quietly shape people's lives. It came from listening to professionals who shine on the outside but struggle on the inside.
Today, we've got leaders, business owners, we've got political side of things, diplomatics. We all, some way, struggling with something. That's why we're here today to, gather and try to raise whatever we're looking to raise. The theme or the subject of this summit this year is about prosperity. How do we do that? How do we become even more prosperous and we become even more rich within our companies, ourselves, our families, and all that? And Africa is very much capable of doing so. However, when you look at statistics and when we look into what people are saying about Africa, they usually say that it's a very poor continent, which doesn't make sense because other continents, they build their richness on the back of our resources.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, whatever, whatever you would like. My name is Camille Ontia. I am Gabonese. I am 28. I am a financial engineer, and I am an entrepreneur here, a Gabonese entrepreneur here in South Africa. And today I'm going to be presenting my company, which is based in South Africa. And before I do so, I will give you a little introduction, and I believe that my introduction is going to make sense with what is going to follow. So, as we know, currently, the world is actually facing what you call a global economic crisis.
Hi, good morning. My name is Junior Mboyi. I'm Congolese, French and Congolese. I will try to speak in English for today. For me, it's a great honor to be here today in Johanesbourg at the moment when the global economic equilibrium is being profoundly reshaped. The energy transition, geopolitical tension, supply chains fragilities, strategic competition over natural resources, and climate pressures. All these forces are transforming how nations build prosperity. At the center of this global shift lie tropical value chains. Not as a simple agricultural sector, but as geo-economic assets that shape the future food security, industry, climate resilience.
Mon intervention va tourner autour du capital humain.
My intervention will be around human resources.
On parle d'investissement durable et en général, on va penser infrastructure, on va penser capitaux, on va penser technologie.
When we speak about sustainable investment, we usually talk about capitals, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about technology.
Mais permettez-moi de le dire assez clairement, le premier investissement durable, c'est l'être humain.
But allow me to share with you, the first sustainable investment is the human investment.
Aucune innovation, aucune stratégie, aucun projet ne peut se déployer si les personnes qui doivent les porter ne sont pas elles-mêmes préparées à grandir, à s'adapter et à contribuer.
There is no investment, there is no project which can go forward if the people who are tasked to implement such a project are not themselves trained to carry it on forward.
I have one question for you. Je vais parler en français et si vous pouvez traduire parce que je me suis mieux en français.
Okay, I will translate for you.
Okay, je suis très heureux de rencontrer une personne comme vous ici au G20 et à cette place de la conférence Summit.
I'm really happy to meet someone like you along the G20 and here.
Avant d'être ambassadeur, je suis d'abord le fondateur de l'Observatoire panafricain du numérique.
Before being an ambassador, I'm also the pioneer for numeric.
L'Afrique est un continent numérique depuis des années, mais on le faisait autrement.
Africa is among the first to be numeric. Digital, thank you. Africa has been digital for a long time, even though we were doing it in another way.
Vous savez que je ne vais pas vous apprendre, hein, la première chose qui avance aujourd'hui les grandes entreprises du monde, c'est le transfer money, le digital banking.
Something that is really making countries to go forward is money transfer.
Et ce money transfer, ça a été créé en Afrique, hein, avec le PESA.
And that has been created in Africa through PSA.
Et l'Afrique, nous ne faisons pas de digital des inventions pour mettre de l'argent en poche et autres. Nous voulons d'abord résoudre les problèmes.
Through digital, finance digital, we first want to solve problems instead of just sharing money.
Comment nous pouvons travailler ensemble, vous, votre institution, vos entreprises, avec l'Observatoire panafricain du numérique, pour générer une transmission, mettre en place un pont pour qu'on puisse travailler ensemble. Parce que la difficulté, c'est que les jeunes enfants, les universitaires sont très intelligents en Afrique, mais le problème, c'est le financement. Est-ce que vous, votre institution et votre entreprise est prêt aujourd'hui à venir dans mon pays, la Guinée, pour installer un hub, hein, comme l'a dit notre frère, les deux Guinées, on peut se partager, le monsieur, hein, pour qu'on puisse faire des bonnes choses.
So how can your business, your company, work together with Pan-African Digital in Guinea in order to help startup to grow and to be leveraged?
So most importantly,
and
I just
raise
wanted
money.
to add to bridge ecosystems between Guinea-Conakry and Guinea-Bissau.
Right.
That's what he asked.
Right.
And I think the word ecosystem is perhaps founded or created first on the African continent. And as with digitalization of numbers, you know, it comes from here. Barriers is put in front by our own. So with loads of red tape.
Ok. Donc, je pense que le mot écosystème est vraiment ancré en Afrique et le mot digital, c'est nous qui mettons des barrières en fait sur comment est-ce que nous l'utilisons.
So our challenge is that we are over-regulated and over-policyfied and it's complex.
Le problème, c'est que nous avons trop de régulation et trop de politique et ça crée des barrières.
And it's not written by us.
Et c'est pas écrit par nous.
Right? And I think this is the first awareness when it comes to M-Pesa. M-Pesa revolutionized the Kenyan monetary system and digitalization and money and trade with one another.
Et c'est visible sur le M-Pesa parce que ça a révolutionné en fait le système digital des finances au Kenya et partout en Afrique.
But what happened immediately is that they were advised to close it.
On leur a demandé de fermer.
Imagine M-Pesa was available in Guinea-Bissau.
Imaginez, M-Pesa était présent en Guinée-Bissau.
And this is Gabon.
Guinée-Conakry.
Yes. Yeah, in Guinea. So what if that was open sourced?
Please continue.
What if M-Pesa was open sourced?
Et si M-Pesa c'était une source ouverte?
Right?
Une source de solution.
And so this thing that we have as an African proverb, it takes a village.
Donc ce que nous avons, c'est que ça demande de l'élévation.
Is only a sentence.
C'est juste une phrase.
And so the village is the ecosystem.
Donc, le
That's the
village,
word that you, and I think what we need to think about is, and people would say they don't like this, but if we look at the Chinese model, right? Government plays a role that enables business. Yeah.
les gouvernements jouent un rôle qui favorise en fait les entreprises.
During COVID,
Pendant Covid,
we didn't hear about a Chinese EV car.
nous n'avons pas entendu des plaintes en Chine.
But they've used open source to be the number one in the world.
Mais ils ont utilisé des sources ouvertes, des clés pour être numéro 1 dans le monde.
That you can now take your phone and send it to go buy food for you. Send your car to go buy food for you. Because they've used open source policy, open source IP, open source technology, but still find the uniqueness that makes them competitive. But they are first the Chinese innovation ecosystem.
Donc, ils ont utilisé les ouvertures, les clés qu'ils avaient pour rester numéro 1 avec des unicités.
And what government doesn't do
Et ce que les gouvernements ne font pas,
is it doesn't take a kickback.
ils ne reprennent pas.
And I think this is the challenge for us,
Et
is
c'est
that
ça.
we have throughout the continent government sector that has two hats. One is I'm the bureaucrat, and two, I'm the service provider to the bureaucrat.
Dans les gouvernements, nous avons des secteurs qui ont deux dirigeants. Un qui est bureaucrate et l'autre qui est sur le terrain.
And that's the problem. So, and I think this is the problem that we have then on the continent, is that because I first see you as the bureaucrat, and then when we walk 2 steps down, you become the business guy. I don't know what to deal with. And so this creates an extremely competitive environment when you have an incubator here and an incubator opposite the road competing with each other for the same talent. And so our biggest problem in our ecosystem is that we're not cooperative.
Donc c'est compliqué d'avoir quelqu'un qui a deux rôles. On ne sait plus comment travailler avec la personne et ça crée des conflits.
The policies that we currently have
Les politiques que nous avons actuellement
creates the crab mentality. I pull you down.
elles créent des mentalités qui ramènent en bas.
And so Cape Town becomes the Silicon Valley of Africa
Cape Town devient la Silicon Valley d'Afrique
instead of every city on the continent.
au lieu de chaque ville sur le continent.
And these are because of the policies that was not written and owned by us
Parce que les politiques qui n'ont pas été écrites par nous
that creates this divide.
créent cette division.
Right? And so I want to say that the Startup 20 policies, that with the MSME policies, is what you need to study. Because you can see that we're creating a roadmap for collaboration.
On doit vraiment étudier les politiques des petites et moyennes entreprises qui ont été mises en place parce qu'elles montrent en fait un plan d'action pour qu'on puisse collaborer ensemble. Pour que les entreprises puissent collaborer ensemble.
Yes, and then for my business,
et pour mon entreprise,
the man with the fancy suit and the tie, I hope he wins the award for the most fancy dressed.
j'espère qu'il recevra un award pour la personne la mieux habillée.
Is that everyone in this room, if you're planning a business via Venetia,
Si vous avez au programme d'avoir une entreprise à travers l'Initia,
you have free access to my platform.
vous avez libre accès à ma plateforme.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, so I also make money.
Il n'y a rien qu'on appelle déjeuner gratuit.
But if you want to put every startup in your country
Mais si vous voulez
and
installer
every MSME on a digital platform so you know what is it that they do, who they are doing it with, what money they are making, how much they need, how do they sell, I can give you the data.
Si vous voulez installer une start-up ou une entreprise dans votre pays, ou si vous voulez des données sur d'autres entreprises, je peux vous aider à les obtenir.
It's called Growth Wheel, and the idea was born in Uganda on Lake Victoria, and we make our software available at 50% discount or rebate on the African continent, but in the rest of the world, it's the full price.
Ça s'appelle Growth Wheel et je vous donne 50% de réduction parce que c'est sur le continent africain, mais hors du continent, vous payez la note totale. Merci.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Hilton. This was just so inspiring, so informative, and also another repeat of what has been said since yesterday, that working together as an Africa is what is going to change. And with such a beautiful word, like the economy of Africa belongs to all of us, and we are the one that needs to take it forward. And thank you very much for that.